end of October, it has been such a beautiful, beautiful month of celebration. So many days to celebrate here in the FCT. And as you know, we're always in and around the FCT to bring to you what people are talking about, what they're doing, and what is happening in the city every single day. Today on the program, we're going to be looking at October as a whole. How have we celebrated these important days? Well, to start off, we're going to talk about the important aspect of cancer. As you know, October is also known as Pinktober because it is the month of cancer awareness for women, especially breast cancer. So today on the program, we're going to start off with that. This is Window on Abuja, and I am Maimuna Ummi Ibrahim. Welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we're looking at October in the FCT. How have the last few weeks been, and what are the celebrations that have happened? So to start off, we're looking at cancer awareness. Let's look at what cancer really is. How does it affect us? And all of the activities that happened in October in the FCT to bring this awareness forth. Every October, the world seems to blush in shades of pink. From landmarks lit in soft rose hues, to ribbons, to head ties, and our attires. This is Pink October, also known as Pinktober, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time when a color becomes a cause and awareness becomes action. The story of Pinktober begins in 1985 when the American Cancer Society and a pharmaceutical division of Imperial Chemical Industries declared October as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Their goal was simple: to promote early detection through mammography. Then in 1992, the now iconic pink ribbon appeared, symbolizing hope, solidarity, and support for those affected by breast cancer. The color pink, soft, compassionate, and empowering, became the heartbeat of a global movement. Cancer doesn't wait, it doesn't discriminate, and it often arrives silently. Awareness is more than symbolism, it saves lives. Breast cancer remains one of the most common cancers worldwide, but thanks to awareness campaigns and advances in screening, early detection has significantly improved survival rates. Today, Pinktober extends beyond awareness. It's about action, funding research, supporting patients, and addressing disparities in access to care. But it's also a reminder: awareness should not end on October 31st. The fight continues year-round for better treatments, affordable care, and one day a cure. Pink is not just a color, it's a reminder of strength in vulnerability, of courage in uncertainty, and of community in struggle. Each ribbon tells a story of survivors, of those we've lost, and of those still fighting. When the world turns pink in October, it stands together for hope, for health, for humanity. So as we move through the year, let us remember: awareness is power, action is progress, and compassion is contagious. There were community and outreach activities for cancer awareness in the Federal Capital Territory in October. The National Sports and Fitness Fiesta Against Cancer took place on October 6, 2025 at the MKO Abiola National Stadium. There was free cancer screening for over 1,000 civil servants, which included cancer checks for breast, cervical, prostate, colorectal, and general health checks, organized by the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in partnership. Cancer care needs assessment in the FCT took place on October 10, 2025, and this took place all across the FCT. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, in collaboration with the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment and the City Cancer Challenge Initiative, concluded a comprehensive cancer care assessment involving 13 health institutions, 66 healthcare professionals, 16 civil society organizations, and 542 patients. There was the opening of the 2025 International Cancer Week in the FCT, which lasted for a full week and started on October 14th. This was led by Dr. Maria Mahmood, Minister of State for the FCT, who called for a national response to the rising cancer burden, focusing on prevention, access, and equity. There was a foundation launch that was done by a true cancer survivor who decided to help others who were going through what she had gone through. And this is how it went down in the FCT.
It represents a lot because I'm a survivor myself, so we are celebrating survivorship, celebrating the strength of every woman who is still standing. I know it is a whole lot, and we have people that we have lost. We also celebrate their life as well. So this is us giving back to the society and telling the whole world that cancer is real, early detection saves lives, and early action as well. I hope that every woman will actually take their health very serious, because for me, I was negligent when I was growing up as well. I didn't know much about cancer, and somehow if I had known more, I would have done something. You understand? So this is just a little advice to every woman out there. Know your body, know that it is not a death sentence. Avoid all the people that don't know anything about cancer, but they are the one giving you advice.
Adire for Hope, a culturally immersive breast cancer awareness, teaching 50 women how to do a breast exam, who will each teach 10 others as a way to raise breast cancer awareness. This was done to make sure that women took cancer awareness very, very seriously, and that early detection saves lives.
There is a lot of issues around patients that are living with cancer in Nigeria. There are many barriers, which I'm sure you all know, but in my own space, I'll mention some of them. Awareness is what we all see, and late detection. That poor knowledge gives rise to late detection. And we know that very soon, by the year 2050, we're going to see almost 70% increase in the rates of cancer as we're seeing it, for different reasons. The fact that we will have more diagnostic facilities across the LNIC, the fact that awareness will be increased, but also the condition itself is on the increase due to all the other reasons. So we have to find ways in which we strengthen our health system to ensure that it takes care of
This cause and came out on the walk. Well, that was so wholesome, and it was really truly touching to meet so many wonderful people that are passionate about cancer, people that have been affected, people that see people struggle every day, and of course, let's not forget the families of cancer survivors and people that are going through cancer. So kudos to everyone that is doing such a fantastic job. And now, in October, as I mentioned, International Day of the Girl Child is another important day, and it was a day that was celebrated all across the FCT. I mean, even our vice president, gave way to a very special child to be a VP for the day. Well, we're going to look at how it was celebrated.
On December 19, 2011, United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 66-170 to declare October 11th as the International Day of the Girl Child, to recognize girls' rights and the unique challenges girls face around the world. In Nigeria, it is estimated that the female population make up 49.95% of the population, with a population of 206 million, making it 103 million estimated women in Nigeria, and half of this population are believed to be under the ages of 18. The theme for this year 2025 was "The Girl I Am, the Change I Lead, Girls on the Front Line of Crisis." In the spirit of celebrating the girl child, the Vice President Kashim Shettima invited Joy Oga to be the Vice President for a day, where she delivered a very passionate speech about the girl child and expressed gratitude for the opportunity to represent millions of Nigerian girls.
I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak for millions of Nigerian girls. I do not take this opportunity for granted, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Her speech highlighted the need to provide free sanitary products, access to clean water, sanitation and nutrition for the girl child.
Nigeria cannot speak of progress if half of its population is left behind in silence. So today, I call on the government, the policymakers, development partners, and every citizen to act not with sympathy, but with strategy. We must invest in education that is safe, inclusive, and free from fear for every child in Nigeria, not just the girls I'm speaking about here. Enforce laws that prohibit child marriage and uphold the rights of every girl to learn and live freely.
There are interventions in place by the government on education, entrepreneurship and youth development. The goal is for every girl to have access to quality education and for schools to remain affordable for every girl child.
The issue of the girl child is not an issue of political sloganeering, no. It's an existential threat to our nation. Joyce's beautiful rendition of her speech. It sounds like music to the ears of all of us, but a music of sadness. But hope springs eternal from the hearts of men and women.
In the words of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, every girl, everywhere, deserves equality, opportunity, and dignity.
Girl, child, elegant and strong, born with fire flowing in her veins, born with the blueprints of life on her tongue, born with eyes sparkling with gold. A world without girls is impossible to imagine. She's a sister, a friend, a mother, a grandmother. She writes her own story and initiates the helping hand. Girl, child, destined to roar and be loud. She's laughed more than she's cried. She's been swimming through storms since she was in the womb. Fighting stereotypes and demanding gender equality, seeking a life free from gender-based violence. Girl, child, you are more valuable than diamonds. Be not afraid of being smart, beautiful, and powerful. You are a landmark of triumph, integrity, beauty, and humility. You have a voice and something to say. Never conceal your rivers of wisdom that flow from within. And girl child, remember to hold up your sisters. For girls of every race, color, shape, and size, sexual orientation have a place in this world. Girl, child, know who you are. You are no longer child brides, no longer the less preferred, no longer the less educated, no longer the underestimated, no longer the ignored. You are the descendants of trailblazers, women who built nations, women who cleared the path, women like Marimi, the legendary Yoruba queen, who sacrificed everything to save her people. Women like Sojourner Truth, women like Sacagawea, women like Boudica, women like Jane Wisdom, women like Elle Jones, women like Mayanne Francis, and women like my mother. Let's reimagine a better world, where the girl child is a force to be reckoned with, where she is a masterpiece. The glass ceiling can no longer hold, because on the thrones of power is where she resides.
Well, that was very enjoyable. And as you know, as women, it is our job to make sure that we pave the way for all the little girls that are coming. So make sure that you play a vital role and be a mentor for 5, 10, 20, any amount you can take. Make sure that you mentor the future leaders. And now we're going to be talking about independence. We can't talk about October without talking about one of the most important days in our lives as Nigerians, and that was independence. I mean, the celebration was a bit muted, but we still celebrated. And as you know, Nigeria is a sports nation. We're very, very passionate about our sports. And as you know, I love my sports as well. So let's take a look at how we celebrated, and of course speak to a sports analyst on what our future is looking like as Nigerians.
This is no longer a people in colonial subjection, but a free nation with its feet already firmly on the road to self-government.
As Nigeria marks 65 years of independence, we honor the brave men and women who fought tirelessly for our nation's freedom. Their unwavering dedication, unrelenting passion, and unshakable vision paved the way for the Nigeria we know today. A nation built on the collective efforts of millions, each contributing their unique thread to the vibrant blend of our national identity. Every year, as October approaches, the green, white, green, our national symbols and conversations about what makes us Nigerian comes alive again. Places of religious worship commit the nation into the hands of our Creator. One of the most prominent traditions is the Independence Day Parade, but this 65th year, the Eagle Square was quiet. No clumping hooves, no synchronized boots, no thunderous chants. Independence Day was not without color though, as Nigerians marked the day in various ways, from the city gate to the parks. But after the flags are folded, the question remains, what next for our dear country?
This is my country and I love it.
At 65, Nigeria is still a young nation, and just like anyone turning 65, there's wisdom gained, but also fresh opportunities to shape the future. As the late Chinua Achebe once said, we cannot trample upon the humanity of others without devaluing our own. This reminder pushes us to keep striving for unity, justice, and progress. Beyond the sights and sounds of Independence Day lies a greater story, the next chapter of Nigerians' influence in the world. As the theme for Nigeria at 65 says, all hands on deck for a greater nation. Today, Nigerian music fills global stages. Our fame streams in millions of homes worldwide. Our fashion brightens runways from Lagos to London, and our athletes inspire crowds in arenas across continents. Technology and social media have amplified Nigerian voices, turning hashtags into movements and giving young Nigerians the power to shape narratives in real time. And in the diaspora, Nigerians are making their mark in science, politics, entrepreneurship, and arts, carrying a piece of home everywhere they go.
Culture is education. It's therapeutic. It's the power of not just a person, but an entire community invested through a person and their creative expression. That is why our sculpture, our fashion, our adire, our ashoke. Look at the design of the Unity Cloth. All this is inspired, not so much by art, but the brilliance, the ingenuity that comes through the creative force of culture. Music, in terms of the sounds that we hear, the syncopations, all of those things, the drum that we listen to, everything about those sounds is not just a melody and a beat, it's the messaging. And for a soft power, it's the power of Nigeria.
This is Nigerian soft power, influence through culture, creativity, and human capital. It is a strength that cannot be measured in oil barrels or trade balances, but in the heartbeat of its people. So, as we celebrate 65 years of independence, we are reminded that Nigeria's story is still unfolding. The next chapter belongs to a generation ready to reimagine Nigeria, not just as the giant of Africa, but as a superpower of culture, innovation, and unity.
Well, I can tell you that at 65, Nigeria is stepping into a new era, not just of independence, but of influence. Through music, film, fashion, tech, and sport, Nigerians at home and abroad are reshaping how the world sees us. Afrobeat echoes globally. Startups are rising and athletes are winning hearts. This is a soft power in motion. Let me tell you, Nigeria does not need military dominance or economic dominance. All we need to leverage in its culture, sports, strategic branding, and diaspora engagement. Nigeria can reshape global narratives and export its identity in a way that generates respect, admiration, and global influence. Yeah, these guys are stars, as you've just rightly mentioned, and of course, sports is another big name or another viable economic area that we've not actually tapped in the way we're supposed to tap in. These guys are ambassadors for Nigeria and of course Africa. We can actually export sports using these brand names. They are already brand names, talking about the likes of Victor Osimhen, Tobi Amusan, and even if you want to go away from these known sports and you want to narrow it down to Scrabble, where we have about 4 lads who conquered the continent of Africa in Nairobi, Kenya. They actually made Nigerian proud in the under 15 and under 19 championship there, and of course they went to the world championship there, where of course Sophia and Abdul Kudus, yes, that is his name, Abdul Kudus, 2 of them actually did Nigerian proud. Now Nigeria we have the talent. We have the talent in abundance. We can actually take advantage of this talent, to export them and ensure that other nations, in terms of grassroots development, now we're going to definitely buy these players. If they are footballers, if they are basketballers, if they are athletes, they can invest in them by taking them away from this country. And of course, whatever it is they pay to the coffers of Nigeria will not just boost the personal lives of these athletes or footballers, as it were, but also help Nigeria in terms of gross domestic product, and of course move the economy forward.
As Nigerians, you will agree with me that we're truly blessed when it comes to agriculture. Here in the FCT, we have so much food in abundance, so many things that we contribute all across the nation. Well, World Food Day was celebrated in October as well, and so many passionate people came together to do different activities to celebrate this important milestone. What are some of the contributions that we make across the nation, you ask, from the FCT? Well, let's take a look. Well, I had such a wonderful time sharing with you how we celebrated all these important days in the FCT. I hope that you enjoyed the journey and looking at it through our own lens, and of course celebrating with you and bringing awareness to each and every one of you. Let's remember that we have to teach the girl child different things in their lives, make sure that we encourage them and we are role models to them. Take care of your mental health, be a cancer activist in your own way, and let's learn to grow our own foods in our own way, in our family. It doesn't have to be large. You can just get a small patch, put a few herbs, you can grow some tomatoes, some peppers, whatever works for you. But let's remember that Nigeria is truly abundant and that in our own way we can serve our nation and our families. I hope you enjoyed sharing this important day with me, and as we delve into November and what it brings, make sure that you remember that it is also a month of awareness for men and prostate cancer. So let's make sure that we support cancer survivors, we support people who are going through cancer, and of course their families as well. This has been wonderful, and I hope that you will join me for another interesting episode of Window on Abuja. As always, I am Maimuna Ummi Ibrahim. See you next time.